Hey all, welcome back to Triple Goddess Soapery. My name is Angela, and today we are making one of the Sabbath's collection soaps. This is a gemstone soap, and today it is Samhain. And if you are pagan leaning, or even if you're not, you may know that Samhain is the origin of Halloween. And yeah, I've made this soap 3 years in a row, and I believe this is the first year I've actually recorded it, that the phone didn't overheat or I didn't have some kind of technical difficulty. So you're in for a treat today. And every year this has changed a little bit. I think the first 2 years it was a moon and a cat embed, and the moon was a crescent moon. Last year I believe it was a round moon with a different type of cat embed, and this year we're just going with the moon. And I've always done a black base, but it's always been a little bit different. So you saw there in the beginning, I had poured some goat's milk base melt and pour into a column mold and let that set up, and then I cut it to size. And right now I'm just showing you the Howlite gemstone, and I'm just picking out the 20 that I want to use for this soap. And there's my fragrance oil and then all the colorants. And I have included tried to include everything that I've used in this soap, all the different things I've tried to include down below in the description. So if you want to find any of these particular colors, gemstones, the molds, all that good stuff, it's down below, along with the different suppliers. Some of them are affiliate links, and if you decide to buy any of these things, it would be amazing if you did click the link. It doesn't cost anything more for you, but I do get a small commission, and it's greatly appreciated. And all I do with the colorants, these are all neons, and I'm just adding a little bit of the soap batter to each one, or not the soap batter, but the oils, and I'm just mixing them up really good and putting them to the side. This will ensure I don't get any spotty streaks or any globs of unblended colorant in my final soap. Just makes things easier. And here we are. I've added my goat's milk powder and my kaolin clay, and I'm just going to blend that up. I like to do this first before I add in the lye mixture because it just makes it a whole lot easier. And I always forget to thank my patrons until late in the video. So thank you so much. I do have a Patreon, and there is lots of free content as well as content at two different tiers. And I just wanted to say thanks to my patrons because I have over 60 patrons right now. And it's amazing that that many people have signed up to my content. And what you just saw on the screen there was just the patrons at the $5 tier, and I very much appreciate you because although it's only $5, it's a lot in this economy, and it's just really appreciated that you're taking your money and you're investing it in me basically. There's lots of content over there as far as different formulas, tips and tricks, and lots of free stuff as well. So you can head over there, you can sign up for free and see what it's all about. Anyway, we're just going to carry on here. We've added our lye solution and we're just going to blend that up. Also, too, because I've used this fragrance, I think 3 times now, 3, 4 times in various applications, I know that it doesn't accelerate my batter. So I'm just going to dump it all in and blend it in with the mixer. Now, I will say that neons are known for accelerating soap batter, so I didn't have any issues with this particular formula and with these colorants and fragrance, but it did thicken up a little bit, so it is something to be aware of when you're working with neons. Now, while we look at that, I suppose we should talk about Samhain. So Samhain is translated to Summer's End. It's a Gaelic festival on November 1st. It marks the end of the harvest season and the beginning of winter, or the darker half of the year. Celebrations begin on the evening of October 31st, since the Celtic day began and ended at sunset. Ancient Celts marked Samhain as the most significant of the 4 quarterly fire festivals, taking place at the midpoint between the fall equinox and the winter solstice. During the time of year, hearth fires in the family homes were left to burn out while the harvest was gathered. This also marks the end of the Celtic year. This is a time when the veil between us and the spirit world is at its thinnest, and there are many traditions and superstitions surrounding the day. celebrate it with bonfires and feasts. You'd wear masks and costumes so the spirits wouldn't be able to find you and do harm or steal you away. You would put out an extra plate of food at mealtime to honor ancestors who are no longer with us. There's way too much to talk about in just one video in one little post. So I do encourage you to go out and Google and do some of your own research, because this holiday is fascinating, and it, like a lot of pagans, it is one of my favorites. But I'm biased. I also, too, in the description bar, have this little blurb, as well as I posted a reel from a gentleman in Ireland, I believe, who talks about Samhain. And as many of you will know, there's lots of controversy over the way Samhain is pronounced. It's spelled Samhain for all of us, Canadians and Americans. Phonetically, that's what it looks like, and I will forever call it Samhain in my brain, but I will always call it Samhain when I speak it out loud. So, if you look at the word and you think Samhain, don't feel bad. That's what most people do. But anyhow, we have now blended all of our colors up and mixed them in using my favorite pour, which is the In the Pot Swirl. I just have my base color of charcoal, and then I poured each of my colors in one by one and gave a little twist with the spatula, and we're all good to go. And when I'm doing multiple loaves, I always pour in like this, alternating, because I think it helps make them a little more symmetrical. Maybe make sure that each loaf gets the same amount of colors, because most of that black is still sitting at the bottom, even though you do give it a swirl. So because I want my moon at the top of my mold, I'm filled the molds up about 2/3, put my moon embed in, and then I'm just going to cover it up. Like I said, because this soap batter mildly accelerates because of the neons, it's actually perfect to work with, because you don't want your moon to sink to the bottom, and you don't want to have to wait forever for your soap to come up to a nice thick trace in the mold so that you can put your moon in. So it worked out really well. And now we're just going to clean off the sides, because that is just the kind of person I am. And working with neons and charcoal is super messy, so just be prepared for that. I do spend a lot of time washing my gloves in between actions, as well as wiping everything down constantly. It's just the way I am. We're just going to give a little flip to the top here. I don't do a lot of texture. And honestly, I still can't figure out like what my signature top is going to look like, but something like this. Flipping the soap around a little bit, doing a little swirl maybe. The soap boxes that I use are actually not quite tall enough to make any kind of significant peaks, so I do keep it kind of small. This is, I believe it was called Neon Leopard, and it is by Star Sprinkles Glitter. And then we're also going to use some, I think it's called Moonshine by Fizz Fairy, which is another glitter. They're both biodegradable, plant-based eco glitters. They will dissolve in water. You don't have to worry about the eco-plastics or anything clogging up your drain. And I definitely went a little heavy on the glitter, but it's a Halloween themed bar, so I think it's all good. And here we are again, cleaning up for the 800th time, probably. I did make this soap back in, probably the end of June, because I attended a pagan festival on August, I think, 11th, and I wanted to have the entire Sabbats collection ready for that. And now we're adding our howlite on top. If you've watched my videos before, you know that I have marked on my wooden boxes the lines from my soap cutter so that I can place my embeds on top with ease and not have to worry about cutting them or breaking a wire. The howlite I get from Stonebridge Imports in Ontario. They have a great wholesale program for businesses. They're really affordable, and so is the shipping. The size of the gemstones I order from them, I find medium is about the right size for their tumbled gemstones for my applications, in case anyone is interested. And this is what she looks like. He, I feel like it's a he for Samhain. Although I'm sure someone will disagree with me. Nice and shiny with a spray of 99% isopropyl alcohol. And now these loaves are going to go in my box with the towel over top for 24 hours, and then we're going to cut them. Because I chose to use a melt and pour embed for these, it was super, super hard to cut. I actually ended up speeding up the video because it took an entire 30 seconds just to cut through that embed and not break a wire. Which doesn't sound like a long time, but that's a long time for cutting soap. Also, too, if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate you. Please consider hitting the like and subscribe button. You can click the bell for notifications as well. And this is what he looks like. The colors are not too muddled because the soap was just thick enough, I think. And just as a side note, a little bit of an Easter egg, if you will, I made sure that this video was 13 minutes long. Lucky number 13 for all you pagans. Also, too, just a little word. Yesterday was my birthday. I am now 48 years old. I really feel like I should have posted this yesterday. But I was busy making soap and shower steamers and just having generally a really good time hanging out at home, drinking good coffee and tea, watching YouTube, and doing soapy things, which is my passion. And I don't usually look for soapy patterns, but I did this time, and I was not disappointed. There's lots of good soapy patterns in there. Really like the glitter on this. I really like the howlite. I think it is really nice, just the black and white stone. I think it's fitting for this particular soap. If you have any comments or questions, I would love it if you would leave them down below. Do you make Halloween and Samhain inspired soaps? If you do, I'd love it if you could give me a link, because I would love to watch your videos, see you on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook. I love following other creators. I think that we all get a lot of inspiration for each other, and we also share a lot of tips, tricks, and ideas, and I think it's valuable for all of us. Now we are just coming to the end here, and I just want to say again, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate you. I have lots more videos coming up, lots saved on my computer, so stay tuned for more soapy content, and I will be back soon.